Hey there, car shoppers. My name is Kyle, your friendly neighborhood salesman, back once again with AutoDice.com in order to bring clarity to the car purchasing process for the consumer. Today, we're going to be discussing the first step of the sales process called qualification. This is a very important step for customers to be aware of for two reasons. Number one, to understand what the intention is behind this step, and number two, so you can get the most out of your visit to the dealership. So, to start off with, the word qualification automatically makes us think that the dealership is qualifying us for whether or not we're going to buy a car. The reality is, it has nothing to do with that. The qualification step is intended for a sales associate to know what type of information a customer is looking for, as well as what type of needs they have on their upcoming car purchase. To clarify what I mean by what type of information is necessary, customers buy cars in very different ways. Some people will take 6 months to make their final decision on what car they want to have, and other people only take a few weeks. A person who's buying a car in 6 months is going to need information about, is there any redesigns coming so that the person can potentially compare the current generation to the next generation? Is stock going to be an issue? If a person's looking for a vehicle of the year and stock's already running out, well, then 6 months later, they won't be able to look at that option anymore because it'll likely be sold out. A person who's buying a car on a shorter time frame, say a few weeks, they're going to need to know about current promotions, current available stock, and possibly even interest rates. Now, the needs section of the qualification process is important as well, in the sense that the sales associate needs to know what you need or want to have on an upcoming purchase. So, for example, the intention of the use of the vehicle. Is it a commuter car or is it more of a family vehicle? One will require fuel efficiency, the other one needs space. Also, too, are there features that customers want to have on their vehicle so as to show comparable models that correspond to those needs? Now that we know what the intention of the qualification step is for, how can you, the car buyer, take advantage of it? Well, the first thing I would suggest you do is, before going into the dealership, decide what type of car buyer you are. Are you going to do 6 months worth of research before making your decision? If that's the case, make sure you ask questions that aren't time sensitive. As in, don't ask for interest rates if you're not buying the car for 6 months, as it really won't help you. But asking about redesigns and available stock absolutely will. If you're a shorter term buyer, then knowing what the current promotions are and how much the current price of the vehicle is going to be far more important information and worth asking about. Now, for your needs, important thing to do is, before going into the dealership, maybe have a conversation with a family member or write down some notes about what's important to you in your next car purchase. Maybe even consider what was important to you on your last one and what may have changed on this one. That way, when you go in, you can really get a vehicle and get information on vehicles that correspond to the exact needs that you presently have. I very frequently had conversations with customers where their needs had changed and they hadn't even really realized it. And through a conversation, we were able to switch them from maybe a minivan, because their family no longer needed it, to a smaller vehicle in order to be more fuel efficient. Whatever your situation is, think about it before going into the dealership so that when you're speaking with the sales associate, you can get the best possible information for the way you want to buy your car and for what you want from your next car. Now, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below. If you have a particular topic you'd like me to cover in the future, go ahead and leave a comment about that. And as always, keep on shopping.